Hey everybody, Dowdark here. Today we're going to go over an unboxing of the new Trollbloods Battle Box that was released at Lock and Load. That will be coming to stores the June 29th. We ended up picking up battle boxes for Trolls and Khador and the like. We're going to unbox this Trolls box, and then we are going to do an unboxing of the Khador box and actually have a straight out of battle box battle report. So, as you can see, the new battle box does not have Madrak in it. It has been slightly modified. It doesn't even have the double impalers. You basically got your single impaler, your single axer, which are carries over from the last box. You've got your new bouncer, and then you've got Ragnar Sky Splitter. So, interestingly, this no longer has the little side panel that you used to pull from. It actually just has a drop top. So this, for new players, I could actually see them continuing to use this box as the way that they carry their models. Which with each battle box comes the new mini rulebook. Obviously this was a Hordes book, so we get the mini primal. The War Machine ones come with the mini prime, and basically this is all the rules that one needs in order to play the game. So right out the gate, if you haven't downloaded them online, you got this little mini rule book, which is great for throwing your bags when you go over to a friend's house or to play at tournaments in order to get the game in. It covers both Hordes, obviously, and then there's a small subset of it that actually covers the War Machine side, so that you're not necessarily needing to go out and purchase a second book for it. With the battle box also comes the paper measuring tape. So as mentioned before, this is a scenario where no matter what you do, you can literally start playing, and they even provide you a measuring tape to make sure that that's even possible for you as well. We get a little cover book on the Trollbloods. So this kind of gives you some of the lore and fluff that might be going on with the Trolls. It gives you Ragnar's little short story to kind of explain who he is. And, you know, for the most part, it's an opportunity for you to become familiar with the faction if you've never seen it before. So it gives you some of the information, how you put the models together, what's in the battle box. It gives you some paint schemes, which is great. Again, it's that concept behind everything you need is in this battle box. You're going to hear me say that a lot. So another thing that comes with is you basically get this playmat that you can play on, and it is great for doing, you'll see in the battle report, we're going to use it in the battle report, but it's two-sided. So on one side is just a generic battlefield on it, and then on the other side there is a side that's got these like numbers and letters on it, and this basically allows you to go through a step-by-step guide on how to do certain maneuvers. One of my friends called it was number by PG. It's the ability for, if you don't have a PG, to explain to you some of the interactions of the game. You can follow the instructions that are provided in the basic training book, which is this. You can follow the instructions and it will take you through some of those starter interactions. So again, getting everything you need. You've got your AoE template, you've got your flame template, and if you don't have a friend who has a battle box to start with you, you got these proxy tokens that you can use for their side, and then it gives you some proxy cards to go along with those tokens. So it gives you some basic coverage over what is in or how it is exactly that you're working on it. Again, as I was saying, that there's some steps, some movements explaining some of the rules. This is basic. The expectation is that you would read over this before you dive into the actual big rulebook. This is the very basics to get you started in the game. So covering over charges, covering over the concepts of war beasts and their spirals, covering over how spellcastings work, offensive spells, and basic duels. And as I mentioned, there are some proxy cards for the proxy tokens, so that way your friend can play without having to put any investment. So it's an opportunity for, if you want to get the battle box and you want to bring a friend in, but they don't necessarily want to spend the money in order to give a go at the game, then they can turn around and use these cards and the proxy tokens in the front, and then they can use those to play the game with you without having to put any monetary investment to start. So going back to our box, again, we've got that, we pulled everything out, we've got all the top layers, and then we've got our little token sets. I'll pull these out and we'll go through these. We have got our dice, because you cannot play dice, or you cannot play this game without the dice. Interestingly, they are all one color, so if you have to roll for columns on war beasts or jacks, you're going to have to roll one separately. It may have been a scenario where they didn't have the opportunity to do 3 and then one of a different color. You have your cards, we'll go over those. You have a big bag, which is all of your war beasts. Now you'll note that there's a color to these, and that's actually on purpose. They basically have assigned a color to each faction. Trolls have this kind of light teal going for them, and I think that's because they're not going to get any version that's close to blue, because that is the Signar color. But it's got this light teal, very akin almost to the troll skin. So for some people who are just looking to get the painting done and get it going, I don't see any reason why they couldn't get away with just painting the cloth and the weapons and everything else, and then maybe putting a shade or something on the skin and calling it done. So you've got that, and then you've got Ragnar in his own individual pack. So, and again, as I mentioned, if we take this little stuffer sleeve out, we have a box that is available to us that we can put our models together, throw everything in here, take our cards, throw it in here, take our playmat, our book, our ruler, close it up, and we're good to go, ready to go to the shop. Alright, so we have the token set that comes in the battle box. So let's go ahead and open this up and see what we've got in here. So it comes with 3 of the spell tokens. I've seen people use these where they would write on the top. I've also seen them when they flip it over and write on that side. And we come with a grand total of, looks like 10? Yep, 10 Fury tokens. So basically we've got 6 for Ragnar and his Fury, and then another additional 4 that you can drop onto your beasts for animize or attacks or whatever the case might be. So we'll put those off to the side. So for the cards, they come in this little sleeve. We get the Impaler card, which has the Farstrike Animus, which is self now, so I think the only person who really benefits from this Animus is actually himself. You have the Axer, who comes with his Rush Animus, which is actually helpful for if you end up using the wall template that we'll be showing. You have your Bouncer, who comes with his First Blessing Animus. So we have situations where we're not necessarily getting pushed or anything like that. And then you have Ragnar Skysplitter, who comes with his Fear 6 stat, an Amazing Hammer, and he has various different ways of setting up knockdowns so that his beasts have the easier time hitting and can spend more of their fury on boosting damage. Also with this comes this little rock wall template. It's another terrain feature that comes with your set. So you've got that forest, you've got the trench, and now you've got a rock wall available to you. And there's instructions on the back on how to form that rock wall and get it ready for the table. Let's look into some of the beasts. So we have 3 sets of torsos that are almost exactly the same, as do on the legs. So how you put these together aren't necessarily going to impact the war beast. So there's not one torso for one set. You have the weapons for each of these. So the axe for the impaler, the spear for the axe for the axer, the spear for the impaler, and the ball and chain and shield for the bouncer. And then they come with arm pieces that allow you to set everything up. So there's a specific arm that's got chains wrapped around it with a lock. This will be for your bouncer, and that is to lock the shield to him. I'm almost certain. And then you have 2 other fists. Let's see if we got here. So one is a clinching fist, one is an open fist. The clinching fist is the one that goes with the impaler and the... Wait a second. That's interesting. So the open fist is the one for the impaler. We're going to figure this out on our own time. Where does this fist go to? Oh, is that the scenario? I see. I had it upside down. So the one with the lock and chain is actually the one where the ball and chain will glue into. So that's your impaler, or that's your bouncer's left arm, and then the open fist, or the closed fist, is the one for the shield. The axer, however, has 2 hands that come in with these open ends to them, and that is due to the fact that his hands are actually on the axe itself. So those open ends is where those slots go into, and then you have one last open-ended, and that is for the slot of the impaler to go into. And then last but not least, we have the accessory of the actual spear to go into the on the impaler's back. So all in all, the beasts are relatively self-explanatory. We had some troubles figuring out on the bouncer pieces. The material is fairly rigid. It is the exact same material that we had before. It is just colored. So if you've ever opened up one of the battle boxes, the content, the material type is exactly the same. There's no real change here. And you get your 3 lights for your battle box. So we're going to set those off to the side, and let's look into Mr. Ragnar and all of his pieces. So he comes into in what looks like 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 pieces. So not too terribly bad. So we have a main body piece here. He's pretty imposing. I actually like the fact that he's got a bunch of ruins on his belt piece right here. We have some scrolls, because you are clearly not a rune shaper warcaster if you don't have a bunch of scrolls. So we got the slot for him on the back to put his scrolls in. We have his first hand. So this is the open one that's basically calling out a shot. No, it's not really calling out a shot. It's more summoning the forces of nature to his aid. We have a shoulder plate. Again, the material itself is extremely firm and rigid. It's not going to snap off at a moment's notice. We have the upper shaft of his hammer, so he's actually got the hammer down and he's kind of leaning on it. I guess maybe all Trollkin rune shapers are older trolls. So we have a back skirt for him that will go on the back. You've got the fist that holds the hammer to it. Can't go wrong with a Ragnar Sky Splitter face. Look at that face. That's a face only a troll mother could love. And then looks like we have either another, actually I don't even think these are shoulder plates. I think these might be thigh, yep, they're thigh plates. So these are plates for the thigh. So all in all, he's a pretty impressive model. I won't lie. When I saw his concept art first spoiled on the Privateer Press site, I was pretty excited about him. And now that I have him out and available, I think it's time to get him on the table. So with that, we'll do the review of the Khador box and put these two head to head in a battle box game. See you soon.